Welcome to the Ascension Path with Twin Essence. I'm Lacey.
And I'm Marley, and we're your Starseed Lightworker and Psychic Medium hosts.
We're identical twins with spiritual abilities and Starseed missions on Earth. On the Ascension Path, we discuss what it's like to be identical twins serving in a spiritual capacity and provide insights into our work as Starseeds. We create a sacred space to receive channeled messages, intuitive teachings, and expansive conversations that elevate your frequency and support your evolution. Join us to learn about navigating the path to Ascension and becoming the most authentic, aligned version of you. Take what resonates and leave the rest.
In this episode, we are talking about Nihal Starseeds. So we're going to get a little bit more niche here because Nihals are what Lacey and I would consider more rare. A more rare type of Starseed in that you don't come across that many Nihals.
Yes, Nihal Starseeds typically come from the Nihal Star in the Lepus constellation. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correct. But they often get associated with rabbits, actually. And that constellation is actually, I think, a depiction of a hare or rabbit, whichever phrase you use. So that is something that oftentimes when we are connecting to Nihal Starseeds in the work that we do with Twin Essence, they will bring through that rabbit symbol that can sometimes be a symbol from them, trying to make contact with their star seeds. Yes, and digging into our experience with channeling Nihal star seeds, they tend to be quite energetic, actually. We typically see them being excitable, animated, some might say hyper even. I think like skilled multitaskers.
Yes.
Like that's what's coming through. Like in how we read the energy of a Nihal when we are connecting to them, usually again, we always see in color, or at least they come through in color first, and I feel that Nihals always come through in purple tones. So that's one of our connections to them. And then, as Lacey just said, that energy comes through. That skilled multitasking, the ability to do so many different things. It actually kind of reminds me of like Manny Gen energy in human design. So like your manifesting generators out there who are like juggling 7 billion thousand things that they think they're good at. I shouldn't even say think. They probably are pretty good at it all. Yeah, they typically are just very busy individuals. There's a lot of activity going on around them. I will say it can sometimes come off chaotic if someone is more type A or more organized and doesn't like to get overwhelmed. A Nihal Starseed can be very overwhelming and can sometimes be a bit like disorganized. Yes, they can come across in that way. I also think that what we see in Nihal Starseeds in these human incarnations is this. They're like these little researchers. That's what I'll call it. Like, they just kind of get planted on Earth and they are just collecting knowledge. And that's part of the reason why I think they do so many different things. So it's like this collecting of knowledge and this exploration they experience while on Earth, and then hopefully bring that information back to their star family. Yeah, Nihals tend to be quite the truth seekers and knowledge seekers, and they're scholarly too. So we typically can see Nihals being in like academic roles or research-based roles where they're just trying to learn as much as they possibly can. I also see a Nihal being in the 3D environment and world, like the kind of person that might jump around and try different jobs too. Like they are trying to just expose themselves to different 3D earthly tasks and experiences, and working different jobs is one of those things that sometimes makes a Nihal Starseed uh more fulfilled because they do like variety. Like that's the other thing coming through is they can't sit and just do one thing. They like to have a variety. They like to keep things fresh and flowing and moving. And the imagery coming to me right now is like someone who is
like working on something on the computer, but also playing music, but also has like a load of laundry in, and maybe they're like boiling water on the stove. Like they're juggling a ton of different tasks, and it's not your average activity for a typical starseed.
It's funny too because they totally brought that same academia reference through. They told me higher education, and like I can see them in these higher education roles in the 3D world. And they're bringing up this reference to Trinity College in Ireland and the library there that which Lacey and I have visited before. And like this reference of like enjoying time in that library, all the knowledge and wisdom that library holds in those books. One thing I will say is because I feel like Trinity has a very stoic energy to it. That is not how Nihals come across. Like they just come across as very much like eager knowledge seekers, high energy um individuals who cannot get enough. They cannot get enough. And like Lacey said, they're probably going to try a ton of different things. And they don't have to feel bad about trying a ton of different things. They don't feel bad about it because they know that they're most satisfied the more new things that they experience and try.
Definitely a Nihal trait. And when you think about this knowledge seeking or collecting of data and information for Nihals, sometimes that's really uneventful for Nihal Starseeds to uncover with their mission and purpose. They're kind of like, well, that's it? Like, what do you mean? Shouldn't I be doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or like something very, very specific? And that's not always the case with a Nihal. They just tend to go where they're supposed to go and float, and it's a lot of variety. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a very important role to experience the spectrum of what Earth has to offer in terms of learning and knowledge.
I mean, Nihal Starseeds, they are like the definition of not niching down. It's hard to get a Nihal Starseed, I think, to niche down because they can do so many things at once and they enjoy so many things. But I think that, one thing that Nihals might experience on Earth is this need for flexibility.
Mm.
And if they don't have flexibility, whether it be in their career or in their daily life, right? If they're too routine and not able to break it up to do what they want, that is going to be a huge challenge for a Nihal Starseed. They need flexibility. They need the ability to make different decisions, to make changes, to try new things, to pick up and go somewhere new, to take off unexpected on a trip. Spontaneity. That's the other thing. It's spontaneity in here.
I think it's a really, really good description of how Nihals work. I also think that they don't want to be put in a box. Like, you can't just like niche and Nihal down. They don't want to be put in a box. They want to be able to move outside of that. And they do tend to follow whatever brings them joy. That's another trait. So I would say the big difference between Nihals and other starseeds on Earth is that Nihals oftentimes will follow something that brings them joy more than other starseeds will. Because a lot of the other starseeds tend to have more of the life lessons that are related to like empathy and different things related to growth and polarization, whereas Nihals are very neutral to me. And they tend to be like very like it's almost like the phrase that they're saying right now is life's a game. It's almost like it's just a game, like you're supposed to have fun.
And why
And
not enjoy it?
yeah, and it's like, so what? Just start over if you have to. Like it's a carefreeness that I don't think all star beings carry with them. And it's not that they don't enjoy or value their mission and purpose when they incarnate here. It's just that they don't put like this level of pressure and seriousness on it that other starseeds do.
I agree. I agree with that assessment. One thing coming through too is as Nihal Starseeds, and if you identify with as a Nihal Starseed and you're listening, if you do find yourself, well, this energy is, it's part of you. It's innately in you. This attitude, this energy, it's in your essence, it's in your soul. If you do find yourself feeling like it's not a game, feeling like it's not easy to follow what you enjoy, feeling like you're not able to create flexibility, that's going to be that growth edge you're experiencing on Earth right now. You can examine that a little bit more closer or a little bit more closely and see if there's a way that you can create more flexibility in your daily life. See if there's a way that you can shift your perspective, embrace that multidimensionality a little bit more and that game, life's a game attitude. Um, but it is innately within you. It's just learning how to access that and how to create that so that you can create the life you desire and more satisfaction.
The other thing, not to keep saying the word knowledge, but I do have to say that they do tend to be very wise in terms of giving advice because of their variety and diversity and experiences. They collect lessons like it's a library, like Marley said. So they can be very, very wise and good at giving advice to others. So you might see them in more of those like counselor roles, I want to say, or like advisors, like guidance counselor kind of is like the vibe coming, advisor, like those kinds of roles are what are coming to me right now. And that's just because of all their knowledge. They also come across, I would say, matter of fact or unfiltered maybe in how they deliver this. So it's not that they're saying things in a way that their audience won't receive it, but it just comes out of them. And a lot of times with Nihals, they don't even recognize where it's coming from. It just comes out and they don't think too heavily about it. It's because it's that innate knowing within them, um, that library record keeping role, if you will. The role of Nihals planting their seeds on Earth, right? The star seeds that are here right now. We just don't see as many of their star seeds commonly and widespread on Earth right now, at least in our work at the current moment that this is being recorded. Doesn't mean it won't change. But you might be wondering, okay, so we've talked a lot in past episodes about the galactic founders. We've talked about different councils and groups that helped with Earth's inception. So what exactly is the role of Nihals in this Project Earth that we keep talking about? And the role of Nihals is very different from the role of other star beings and groups. They're just not as actively involved in Earth's ascension the way other groups are. Nihal starseeds are, they do serve a more individualized mission, I would say, versus the collective ascension process and mission. That doesn't mean that they don't help with the ascension process on a collective level, though. They do still help humanity in those different roles that we talked about, whether it's more literal healing, like counseling, therapy, whether it's the higher education roles, whether it's the research roles. So they do still help others in those positions, and they can help create more integration when we talk about ascension and the integration of positive and negative polarities, but they do have ultimately a more individualized focus on creating more balance and integration within their star seeds and their own race. Yeah, they're just not as invested in Project Earth the way other groups are taking active roles and like largely seeding on Earth right now. They're just more rare but they do play a role, right? We know they have those 3D positions that they're in. There's still a starseed type that is empathic and caring and nurturing. Um, they could hold a lot of like cosmic knowledge within their DNA just because of that. I want to call them a cosmic librarian.
Yes.
I literally they just showed me the image of I keep this being that looks sort of like a rabbit with like long ears, and then it has like a purple cloak that's almost like magician. It's giving me magician
Well, and
vibes.
I keep seeing almost like the cone hat, like almost like this weird Merlin.
Yes.
It's really hard to describe, but this cone hat, it's very much like holding the book, wearing the cloak and the cone hat, like this weird magician librarian.
Yes, it's the Merlin imagery, but it's like almost like a little rabbit to me. And I want to call them like the Cosmic Librarians.
With round, like Harry Potter glasses on.
I think that's a really like strong imagery that they enter with, and I think that means something because they are. it kind of actually is reminding me of Akashic Records
Yes.
and how we have records keepers on our spirit teams. And it's reminding me a little bit of that, but it's almost like they're keepers of like the cosmic knowledge. And as I'm saying that, we were just talking about, oh, like their role isn't as involved in Project Earth, and they just don't have as dominant of a presence in the Galactic Founders, if you will. They're a more niche that has broken off. They're in a different constellation. But really, like the way they're showing it to me is that is their role with the Galactic Founders. They're a cosmic keeper of knowledge, this cosmic librarian. And it feels very individualized. Like I know I mentioned, it feels very individualized as a mission on Earth, but ultimately that does still uh affect the collective. It does still push the collective forward, like we talked about, how they are manifesting that forward with 3D position that they might be in as humans on Earth, but also how they are collecting that knowledge and sharing it with their star family. Like that ultimately is usable, for lack of a better phrase, across different star families and the different star seed types as well. And like going with this cosmic librarian role and this particular being that we're seeing from the Nihals, you know, it feels like this is the kind of I want to compare it to like when people talk about the Palladian Council of Light or like a Palladian Council that they channel or like Sirian elders, Lyran commanders, like different names that are more like leadership or council based for different star groups. Um, I want to say like this Nihal being that's like I'm calling it the Cosmic Librarian. I like that. Um, it feels like you could go to this being and they would be able to just pull up like cosmic history book to provide you with
Yeah.
lessons or information or say, hey, like page back to this time and like we see these two planets were at conflict and actually like our people and our kind has seen this with polarization and that's ends the spectrum. Like they feel so knowledgeable and that is really one of their gifts. Like this joy, this knowledge, the seeker in them, the adventurer in them. It's really a fun star being to be connected to.
Absolutely. And they are totally that resource you go to, or it's almost like in the movies, like they're gonna be that resource that you have to go to find out a location, a thing, a person, whatever it may be, they can access that and tell you. As we know, time's not linear, so like they show me like even though we're very much talking about a library and this librarian concept in books, like knowledge being held in books, like they just show me almost like a 3D use. That's funny saying 3D actually on this. Saying 3D in reference to this depiction they're showing me, but they show me like this holographic 3D like map almost like what you would see in like a movie of like the spiral of time because we know
Mm.
time's not linear and like how they're able to like access that and find what it is you're looking for to be able to say, oh yes, this person or this soul was here at this time at this place, or oh, you're looking for this location can be found here. Like it totally reminds me of like a quest that you see in a movie, or like I even reference the Sandman on Netflix, the Sandman series on
Mm.
Netflix, where they go on different kind of journeys on that show. And so I view that as like one of the stops they would have along the way. They would have to stop there and be like, we're trying to find this person, and they would be able to help you locate that person.
I think it's a good point because we know time is not linear. We know time is a man-made construct, and we know that there are star beings that innately carry this ability to uh alter time and space, right? But I think the Nihals have a different, unique way of doing that as it relates to galactic history, as it relates to their star seeds and different timelines their star seeds are accessing. I also feel if you're a Nihal Starseed, you'd be able to call on your Nihal guide to help you understand different timelines that you've been on, or to help you access the timeline that you desire. It feels like the Nihal would know a ton about that.
Yes, it's holding the possibilities. Like that's how they describe it to me. And they actually compare to, I have one other pop culture reference I have to make here, the Umbrella Academy.
Ah,
And this, if you know the Umbrella Academy, this will make complete sense to you. But if you don't know it, the reference I'll just give you on this is the character five. So number five in the show and how he travels through time, but it's actually more than just traveling through time. It's like different universes, different timelines and universes. And so I just kind of see that as a similar comparison being made here of like which timeline, which version of blank are you looking for? And then we can take you there. We can travel there.
in that show, they used the depiction of a train, or it
Yes.
was a subway, I think.
Subway. Yep.
Subway,
Subway.
like a subway station where they're like using a map to go to different timelines in it. And it's a really wonderful depiction in like a 3D human way of explaining like timelines and different
Yes.
dimensions to humans. So I think that that TV show was actually quite ahead of its time with how it, not to say time again, but it was ahead of its time with how it depicted that information. And it's something that's really actually important to your ascension path. So, not to interrupt the regular programming, but that is something that the Nihals are bringing through with this thing that Marley brought up about this TV show, because how you are able to access your different timelines and understand different outcomes is really advanced ascension work.
It goes back to that holding your multidimensionality, holding yourself in all dimensions at once, and how you can make those shifts at a 5D level and see the 3D reality change. Changing your inner changes your outer, right? We talk about this all the time. The other thing is that it's not just Nihal Starseeds, although Nihals can be quite gifted in sharing this information, I think, with humans.
Yes.
Working with your family in general is going to be monumentous in helping you understand your timelines and what's available to you. So Lacey and I do this all the time. We also work a lot with our harmonic resonance field, and this is something that really helps us access timelines better and different inner healing topics we might be working on and helping explain that. So everybody has the ability to do this, I think, when they're connecting to their star family. It just feels like Nihals, if you choose to connect to Nihals, or you are a Nihal Starseed, you probably have a different connection to how you could access those timelines. Maybe it's a little bit easier, it's more of a focus for Nihals versus um like Lacey and I, Sirian and Lyran. We can still access it, don't get me wrong. It's just not the same focus that a Nihal might have on it.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's harmonic resonance work, and we do that work with our clients. It's similar to when you hear manifestation coaches talk about the quantum field and connecting to the quantum field. And it's similar to people, spiritual leaders who use the word either, connecting to whatever's in the ether or picking something up from the ether. It's essentially the energetic field that we're all in, and how we are able to connect to our star family and they are able to guide us to information that is in our harmonic resonance field. That's the example we use since that's what we do with clients, but we help them learn how to access that and how to find different information, whether it's like challenges and blockages they're going through, whether it's something they think that's holding them back. It's a certain emotion, it's a memory, it's a past life. It's sometimes future oriented too, like a timeline that you're calling in and connecting to a future version of you that you're wanting to ask for advice or see what would that version of me do. And it's really beneficial to your ascension path. I think you don't have to do it, but Marley and I literally do this very often. Like it's part of how we maintain our vibration and how we stay in alignment with our mission and purpose and what we're actually doing here.
Absolutely. And Nihals, you're sitting back, you're thinking, man, I don't even realize I'm doing it, but I'm doing it. Or maybe you don't realize it, but everybody has that ability if they're willing to experience that, I think. But it's a beautiful tool, I think, to use in your ascension path. and your healing process that Nihals are reminding us of today.
Well, one thing I do want to say that is coming from the Nihals is they just want to give their starseeds a reminder to loosen the reins a little bit. So you're juggling a lot of things. We get it. You're busy, you're excitable, you're all sorts of things. But they just want to remind you that you don't need to hold on so tightly to the things that you desire or the things that you're calling in and currently working on. Sometimes you need to practice a little bit of surrender and loosening it up and trusting in yourself a bit because you're much more powerful than you realize. And you let your 3D human construct of control get in the way of the universe's divine plan for you.
And it's all about experience, is how they say it to me, being that life is meant to be experienced, so why not experience it completely? Why not allow yourself to have fun? Why not allow yourself to try different things, and just allow the experience to flow through you? Don't let the experience, don't outsource to the experience, though. So don't get too caught up in a third dimensional way of living or being. Just allow yourself to flow with it.
And with that, we leave you with those messages and this information on Nihal Star beings. And I'm sure now you're all just picturing that Merlin rabbit being with the library behind them. And maybe like a little scepter with a ball that's glowing on top of it. That's what I'm getting right now.
Thank you to our cosmic librarians for giving us this wonderful image. It's
Yes,
quite distinctive.
it is. And with that, we leave you with these messages and we will see you next time.